Hello and welcome to Teach a Child to Read with Children's Books. So, I am really excited because we have so many new members today. So, I want to take a few minutes to just jump in here and say hi, talk a little bit about what's different about this group from some other groups that you might be in about teaching reading. So, my name is Mary Gallagher. I am the administrator of this group and the co author of Teach a Child to Read with Children's Books. So, you may see this kind of pop up and float around in the group. I'm going to talk to you about that, but I want to welcome all of our new members. So, welcome, welcome. And I want to give everybody a chance to get in here live and say hi. If you're new, just introduce yourself. Just say hi in the comments so that I know that you're watching. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions here on this live video or anywhere in the group. So, what makes this group different? Well, really, it is very different. And I know that it's different because I've been out there and I've been in some different groups and I've gone to different places in social media and I've been in education and teaching reading for about 30 years now. I know it's crazy to believe that. And I've raised my own kids who are great readers, but they both didn't learn to read the same way or the same time. And so, one thing I always do say to parents is the calendar doesn't dictate when your child is ready to read. So, that's something we teach here in this group. It's also something we teach in our book, Teach a Child to Read with Children's Books. So, what makes this group different? I know that a lot of you are in other groups where it's kind of parent led and you're sharing lots of ideas. We have parents in here who have used many different programs and have had ups and downs with those. We have parents in here who have read our book and used it, who are raising multiple children and really have found that doing reading this way takes a lot of stress out of it, really helps them individualize instruction for all of their children, no matter how they learn or what age or stage they learn to read. So that's one thing that makes Teach a Child to Read with Children's Books very different. The other thing is we're not selling a curriculum. We're not selling an expensive reading or phonics program. A lot of times people ask me to do that. I've been asked to create phonics books and phonics readers, but it's really not what our group or our book is about. Again, the title is Teach a Child to Read with Children's Books, and you'll hear me actually say things like use real books. And so, what do I mean by that? We mean literally children's books that you can get at the library, that you have in your home, that you buy at the bookstore, that you swap with friends. Children's books, yes, they're not just for reading aloud, they're not just before kids learn to read, they can be used as really the foundation of your curriculum. And when you do that, reading suddenly switches from boring and robotic to a world opens up for your children because they've been listening to you read all along. They know what real books are. But imagine their great disappointment when you say, okay, it's time for you to learn to read, and you present them with a black and white phonics reader that is really not exactly the quality of the children's literature you guys have been reading together all along. That's really kind of disappointing for some kids. So I've heard from parents their children start hating reading, they're crying, it's too hard, it's boring, they're kicking and screaming, they're doing anything to get out of reading. That's a sign that something needs to change, right? So, but what I've never heard is a parent who said, I've been using really great children's books and keeping reading stress free and fun, and my child hates reading. I've never heard anybody say that. So they always say the opposite. And sometimes it's within 1, 2 weeks, children suddenly turn around very quickly and start to say things like, I'm going to go read by myself, or give me that book, mom, I can do it, because we're building their confidence and because we're treating them like real readers. So that's what makes the difference in what we teach in this group and what we teach in our book. So I just wanted to kind of share that here. Hey, welcome those of you that are watching. If you'll please drop a little comment, I can see who you are and say hi to you. So really what it boils down to, there's good information in this book, but I'm going to give you a quick summary. If you could remember READ, read, right? That makes sense. So first is read aloud. Okay, I know you guys know this, but I'm not going to stop saying it. It's really the foundation. You're going to keep doing this even after your child learns to read on their own. So read aloud is the key. If you haven't started there, that's the first place to start. Don't worry about phonics programs. A stands for access to easy books. What do I mean by this? Not necessarily phonics books, but books that your child can read. Just a few words on the page, lots of pictures that match the words, lots of repeated patterns, or what we call predictable pattern books. So it could be something as simple as the boy went to the store, the boy went to the park, the boy went to the zoo, the boy went to the aquarium, okay? But it's going to give them confidence as they're learning to read if they have those easy books. Now, when your child is getting into decoding and phonics and all of that, keep it simple, keep it few words on a page, and give them the next thing we're going to talk about is lots of encouragement. So children are taking risks every single day when they're learning to read. It's really monumental what they're doing. Our brains really aren't kind of hardwired for that. So they're learning all kinds of new strategies. They're learning all kinds of new things. They're learning what sounds right, what sounds wrong, matching words, matching letters. They are just doing so much, and all the while trying to make sense of what they're reading, because that's what reading is all about, understanding what we read. So lots and lots and lots of encouragement. Just never say the word no. If your child misses a word, just say, that was a great try. Could it be? And then give them the word. Or, hey, that was a good try. Let's try it again. You're very close. Just avoid the word no. That's all you have to do for encouragement. And then this is really important. See, what you're not going to get from a phonics program are strategies. What you're going to get from a phonics program is phonics, and that's it. But that is only one part of the reading system. Phonics is very important. Don't get me wrong. I've taught years and years of phonics. I've taught lots of kids to read. Children need phonics. They need to know how to unlock that code, right? But they also need to develop strategies. You need to develop strategies to coach them. Really, what you're doing when you're reading with your child is you're coaching. Have you ever had somebody coach you where they say, hey, you're really close, but here's a strategy to help you get over this hump? That's what you're going to do with strategies. All of this is covered in our book, Teach a Child to Read with Children's Books. But all of this is also covered here in the group. There's lots of free resources, so please access them. But one thing I'm also going to point out in our book, and this is really the key, I think, from other reading programs, is that we teach you how children learn to read. So we talk about in our book how children learn to read and how to use real books in your reading program, etc. Once you understand the dynamics of what's happening, that it's more than just a phonics thing, once you understand how early readers read and how children need support in other ways, how they really learn to read and what really motivates them, you're going to be able to set aside those really expensive or boring or hard to understand reading programs. You don't have to be a teacher, a reading specialist, or a rocket scientist to teach your child to read. You can do this using what we teach you and real children's books. And guess what? Those are free as long as you have a library card, unless they're overdue. But I think right now, most libraries aren't even charging overdue fees, right? But so what if you rack up a few bucks on a library card? That's way cheaper than spending hundreds of dollars on a reading program. So in our book, we teach you how children learn to read. That's going to give you a good foundation and an understanding. So you're going to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. If you're just following a reading program or a phonics program, it may not make sense why you're doing what you're doing or what to do when you need to pivot. Again, all children don't learn to read the same way. They are going to learn at different paces and at different times and stages. One's going to fly through this, another one's going to get stuck. What can you do if you're using a scripted reading phonics program and it's just telling you day 1 do this, day 10 do that, and it doesn't tell you how to pivot, or it doesn't tell you what to do when your child's not responding the way the other child did? What can you do? You're going to know what to do because you're going to have the arsenal that you need from our book. Okay, guys, so that's all I wanted to share with you today. What makes Teach a Child to Read with Children's Books different? It's not a phonics curriculum, not opposed to phonics curriculums. Phonics is important, but there's so much more going on. And once you know that, and once you are able to relax into it and trust yourself and trust your instincts, you're going to be able to guide your children. You're going to be able to pivot from child to child. You're going to be able to try new strategies. You're going to save a lot of time, a lot of frustration, maybe even some tears, and I guarantee you're also going to save a lot of money. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much. So Vanny, the book is $27.95 on our website plus shipping. It's about the same on Amazon, and also there is a place you can go called Rainbow Resource. So if you need shipping out of the United States or out of Canada, Rainbow Resource will ship that. I'm not sure how much their shipping is though. So that's a good start. I'll put those links in the comments below so you can grab it. But please know that I've got lots of resources in the group here as well. If you check those videos and units out, that'll also get you started. All right, thanks for joining today. I've got to go ahead and hop on over to another project. I hope you're having a great day. And remember, just keep reading. If all you're doing right now is reading to your child because you're not sure what else to do, that's the number one most important thing. So you're doing okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye.